Okay, I have a couple of questions just to put out there. Does it matter if I'm for or against a vaccine, or does it matter if I want other people to have the ability to take a vaccine if they want it, and I don't want it? Does it even matter if that's the case? Uh, yeah, that's a question. Because it doesn't now. They might decide one day that it does. Does it matter if I wanted to mentally masturbate with mental gymnastics and say, oh, people should not have a choice whether or not to get the vaccine? It doesn't matter. Like that shit doesn't matter. Um, so every day there's like there seems to be a fresh need, right, for people to uh, clarify their position on a vaccine. All I'm saying is just be careful who you poke because you don't want anybody following you for hundreds of miles through the woods like the hunter, like that shot the tiger, right? So like a hunter shot in movement in the bushes. He thought it was a deer, right? But the tiger doesn't think that there's any other apex hunters. It's like, wait a minute, I'm the apex hunter. It's me. There's no other apex hunters in this environment. I'm gonna follow that hunter hundreds of miles and kill him. Like and kill him. It's not a threat because like he thinks he's an apex hunter in these woods, these millions of years old woods. If you want to believe in evolution, I don't. I believe in entropy, running a side by side with specification because I'm not a dumbass. Because I'm not a dumbass. Okay, I didn't. I'm not saying the allegory of creating the world in one day is true, and that I'm this kind of creationist and everything. I'm not saying that either. Like, because people don't understand. You don't have to. You don't have to believe in evolution, or or creationism. You don't have to believe in either one, and they'll think you're stupid. And I'll be like, yo, entropy, de-evolution, and specification. They'll be like, oh yeah, tomorrow they'll be like, well, I don't know anything anymore. My brain's just scrambled. I'm sitting here fantasizing about how to mediate a fucking vaccine that a motherfucker has to elect to decide whether they want it. And if I think my shit goes over, then that is just a glamour. So I'll glamour myself from reality and divorce reality so I can poke you, so I can get this cash. Because there's money in that shit. And it's not, don't take it personal or anything. So somebody's like, "Oh, I'm not an anti-vaxxer." Well, you just want people to lay off of you. You don't like them talking a bunch of smack trash, but guess what? Like, they are dumb as watered down shit. They're gonna take a piss because they're a fucking shitty asshole. They don't matter. They don't matter. What matters is the truth. None of us can hold it, but we can damn sure get some exposure, okay, to truth, right? Um, Now, if if you vaccine if let's say they went around knocking down doors and they had the military to help administer the vaccine, all right, and then they found somebody who's like oblivious and like what I mean, like it's like I don't, what is that, like I don't know you guys, right? Is that a real uniform? And they poke you, okay, then you go postal and let's say you pulled out a Mac and laid everybody out, right? Let's say that you had a shotgun, you blew them away, right? It's not surprise. It's not weird. It's not weird. I don't care what the news says. I don't care what anybody says, right? If I fucking drove your eyeballs deep into your skull with my thumbs, right? Maybe maybe I feel like a rape victim. Subcutaneously injected some serum. It could be fucking jizz. It could be reconstituted biofiller from synthesized fucking jizz like they made Red Bull out of, right? Um, and it could be a violation, an intrusion, a molestate. It is molestation. People, why do people call everybody molesters and shit? Well, because you're a molester. You got to look at the wide legal umbrella of the legalese definition of molester. It just means that you're in the way of progress. It just means that you stopped progress. That's it. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people are molesters and don't know it. Um, Even wrongful detainment is considered a molestation, right? So if like you're arguing with somebody and they try to turn their back on you, and you spin them back around. All you did is spin them back around. So I have another word. I have more words. You're still a molester. I'm not saying you're sexual. I'm not saying you're a deviant sexual predator. I'm not saying that, right? So, anyways, I mean, you've heard Yosemite Sam throw that term around like it's nothing because it is almost nothing. But if you try that shit on me, maybe I'm a tiger. Maybe I'll follow you for 300 miles through the Siberian woods because you shot at the bushes. It's an accident, but you don't understand, right? I'm all I know reality to be is that I'm an apex hunter in these millions of years old woods. I ain't never seen anything like you, and I gotta investigate. So people think that they like to investigate shit, and they're not investigating. They already know what they're gonna do. They're developmental science. It's a aspect of science that ignores reason. When you want to go on with something that you know is unreasonable, it's not science. It's developmental. So, development. Stop the developments in the say sustainable development, and then the problem is that any development that is not run infinitely, like or infinitum or whatever, that does not go on uh, infinitely, already has inefficiency. Like there, any development is not sustainable if it doesn't run on its own indefinitely. So stop development. All right. That's just. I just wanted to give you that. Uh, but no, I don't care if you're not an anti-vaxxer or if you are an anti-vaxxer. It's dumb when you say, "Oh, why I don't want." Well, if that's I don't want my kids to be around you. I don't want to be around your kids. Like, look, I probably wouldn't want my kids to be around your kids because then they would probably have to meet the parents, right? So it shit don't matter. My kids will never see your kids. They'll never be in the same class. Like, fuck that. They'll never go to the same. They'll be homeschooled or something, and then you can just slowly reintroduce them to society. Like, what's it called? Hang around with some homeschool kids that also have friends with some public school kids. You have to hang out with them, right? So they can't just hang out with public school kids alone. You know what I mean? Because they're homeschooled. You know, and that's their parents. That's their parents. So you know what I mean? Like you're letting your kids hang out with their parents in a way. But no, I don't. I don't understand this need to clarify. Oh, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, and like, who gives a fuck what you think? Don't poke the wrong person.